St. George, Utah, the idyllic desert community in the sky without any flaws. That's actually not true. There's actually quite a few things that, it's not...
There are 5 things in particular that if you can't handle these things, don't move here.
Yeah, really, do not move here. So we're going to talk about them now, so stay tuned.
What's up, everybody? I'm Sean Dazad.
And I'm Courtney Dazad.
And we've been helping people buy and sell homes for over 20 years. And if this is your first time on the channel and you want to know everything about working, eating, sleeping, living, and playing in Southern Utah, don't forget to click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the little bell so you're notified every time a new video comes out. Now, we get so many calls from people looking to either buy or sell a home in Southern Utah, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving to, moving from, or moving within Southern Utah, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back. Okay, so we've established that
St. George or Southern Utah isn't perfect.
Yeah, there are some flaws.
It is a diamond, though, but just not a flawless diamond.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is obviously, let's be real, it's a desert community. It gets hot here.
Hot and dry.
Hot and very dry. Oh yeah, when we first moved here, my hands were just cracking and almost bleeding in the knuckles.
Invest in moisturizer. It gets really dry. That's perpetual, right?
Yeah.
It's dry all year round.
Summer, winter, yeah.
And the winters are chilly, but the winter's actually very beautiful.
Yeah. The
summers, though, get hot.
Yeah, get very hot. And, when people say, oh, but it's a dry heat.
No, it's hot. It's hot. There's no escaping it. It's hot, and if you do not like heat, do not move here. Yeah. Now, I will say there are ways to mitigate it, because just about 90 minutes down the road in Vegas, there is no escaping that heat. It's hot, and you're going to stay hot. What's nice about, Southern Utah is that, one, we have already a pretty high elevation at 2,600 feet.
In St. George.
Yeah. You get 10 minutes out of, town square, and it gets to 3,800 really fast. And, you get some nice relief just in that difference in elevation. But then you go a few minutes more down the road, and now you're like several thousand feet above elevation compared to, let's say, St. George. And that's where it really gets a nice relief. So between that, and then you have the reservoirs around here, which are nice, where you can really just get some nice relief on those hot summer days.
Yeah, so there are ways to mitigate. And they also do have some nice, cool indoor pools.
And you're going to need air conditioning.
Yes, for sure. I don't even know how you can survive without it, so.
So yes, that is one flaw or one thing that you need to know about Southern Utah for sure.
Yeah, okay. And another one.
Number two.
Okay, so I know people are automatically going to hate us when we say this, but we come from California.
Yes.
So to say that, when you come from California, you're not used to guns. This is not to say that we are against the Second Amendment in any way, shape, or form.
We're actually very pro Second Amendment.
I was raised by a Navy SEAL, so, it's just that we're not used to them.
Yeah, and in Utah, like Texas, right? Like Utah, you got your guns.
Yeah, it's very similar. The stereotype that you have for Texas is that everyone has their guns.
Look, he had a gun. Of course he had a gun. This is Texas. Everybody has a gun.
My sister lives in Texas, and I remember one time we were just, chatting with this little old lady on the side on the road that we just met her, and then she was like, well, I feel like I need to get my gun. That's, for example, your best friend, he told me that, we moved out there because his best friend from college already lived out in St. George. And he said, I'm going to make Sean into a gun enthusiast.
And so apparently I'm going to be going on a 4-day training for firearms. I don't know what you do for 4 days, but apparently when he did this, he was actually wondering that. And he said that actually surprisingly, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So that's another thing, if you have an issue with the Second Amendment, you might not want to move to the St. George area because it's very pro Second Amendment.
Yes, definitely. And so the number 3 thing that you got to know, and if you can't handle it, don't move here.
And that is that the shopping in St. George
is a bit lean.
Although Sean says that it does punch above its weight class. So explain what you mean.
So, let's be real. Southern Utah, not the most densely packed or highly impacted population in the world. It's about a little less than 200,000 people. So it's not a big area of, big population of people. So obviously you're not going to have all the shops in the world because who would shop there?
Yeah.
However, Like having said that, you have a ton of shops though in St. George. I mean, you even have an H&M store. You have obviously Home Depots, Lowe's, like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Costco. Costco, near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't have everything.
Yeah. So if your idea of a good time is
shopping, like
the Champs-Elysees in Paris,
or like boutiques and all that
New
stuff.
York City,
you don't get that in St. George or like in southern Utah. It's just not. It's just, and then again, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Good news is that if you absolutely just love to shop, if you want to take a little nice 90-minute excursion, you can go to Vegas, where you get all the shopping you could ever ask for. I mean, they have all the stuff there. So if you can handle a little bit 90-minute drive to scratch that itch, you're good. But if you need to be right there, it's just not for you.
Yeah, and I would sort of add on to the shopping, because when you think about shopping, you think about this, this cosmopolitan lifestyle, this big city or whatever, which includes, fine dining. The dining in St. George, I would say, it needs improvement.
I mean, as we get more, more stuff going, that'll be great. I mean, again, it's just that there's less fine dining options.
There's not that. So if you want, fine dining, world-renowned chefs, you're going to
like Michelin star restaurants.
Yeah, you're going to have to go to Vegas.
It's again, they just don't have like that, again, those highly acclaimed restaurants. That's just what it is.
Yeah, and then here's another reason not to move here if you don't like this, if you definitely want to avoid moving here, and that it goes along with this idea of this lack of this cosmopolitan lifestyle, is that I would say it's very isolated. I mean, St. George is kind of like this pocket in the middle of nowhere almost.
Southern Utah, see, there's like the south, there's really southwestern is what people think of Southern Utah, right? Like Washington County, kind of what you're thinking of. And it's there, and then there's pretty much nothing really around it. I mean, it's a bit of driving before you get to, like Provo to Salt Lake City or down to Vegas. You're kind of isolated. Yeah,
and for some people, that's what they want.
That's their dream. Like your best friend's father. Like
so he
loved that.
He moved out from California to Pueblo, Colorado, and his home was built at the end of 5 miles of dirt road. So that's what he wanted. He wanted the isolation. Yeah. But for some people, and when he found out that'd
be my hell to like be like where, because you were even saying that if they had like some strong rains, the road would get washed out, so they were stranded.
Yeah.
I just could not deal with, I mean, me personally, I like some city life at least. Mm-hmm. And so like, I like neighbors and stuff. So I just don't like to say like the neighbor is a mile away. I'm like, that's not making me feel super comfortable to be that isolated. But again, some people really love it.
Yeah. And although when I did tell him that we were moving to Utah, he basically said, my prayers have been answered,
He shed a tear.
It's like, thank God you're leaving California. So yeah. Okay, then let's talk about another, reason not to move to the St. George area, and that is job diversity.
Yes.
So explain what you mean by this.
Well, obviously, again, this is kind of like the chicken or the egg, right? So how many jobs can you truly have? And so with that, how many diverse jobs can you have?
Yeah, so you're not going to have all these different industries,
like aerospace, biotech.
If you come from a big city, you're used to having pretty much any industry that you want to work in, you can find a job in that
even
industry.
Farming in Southern Utah, the
population's not that big.
Yeah, but to help mitigate that to an extent is that because the whole wave of remote working is such a thing now that a lot of people that are moving, they are actually finding that their remote work, it makes it pretty easy where they just have to, very few times where they actually have to go to the physical office.
Yeah.
So to make that commute isn't so bad. Like it's actually, again, it's only a 6-hour commute to Orange County from Southern Utah, which was one of the reasons why we moved here actually. But the actual job infrastructure in Southern Utah just isn't really as robust yet.
Yeah, but like you said, as it grows, I mean, it's kind of like the chicken or the egg. People come here, they open their own companies. I mean, it's nice that there's one major university there, Dixie State as well as Dixie Tech.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not like there isn't opportunity, but it's just that if you are from a big city and you're looking for diversity of jobs, it's just not really available here at this moment.
Yeah, and the St. George Medical Center is actually...
Oh, yeah, so that is one caveat, is that
their medicine is pretty good, actually.
Their medicine is honestly fantastic.
Yeah, they have a great hospital.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we even have a story about it. We actually have a very good friend, and he doesn't live in St. George, but he had an accident in St. George, and he actually had something wrong with him. And then they had that operation in St. George, and then he went back to his specialist.
One of these world-renowned specialists.
Yeah, world-renowned specialist, and they looked at everything that they did, and they said...
Perfect. Wouldn't have done anything different.
We wouldn't have done anything different.
Yeah, so medicine covered pretty well. But it's just, again, we're just talking about like the diversity of jobs.
Yeah.
It's just not as strong in St. George.
Yeah, for example, like in Southern California, you could find entertainment, you could find, biotech, you could find computer software, you can find anything, right?
Yeah.
But it just,
It's what it is. Just so, again, if you need that, again, it just may not be the right place for you.
Yeah, and then just as a little add-on to that is that they do have an airport, which is nice.
Oh, at least there is one there, yeah.
But it's very,
St. George Regional Airport is
very
tiny.
small, very small, and very expensive.
Yeah, and again, you're going basically, at least at the time of this recording, you're going to Phoenix, Vegas, Salt Lake City, Dallas, and
I think that's it.
I think that's about it. Yeah, so there's not a ton of options.
For direct flights.
Good news is that 90 minutes down the road, you have an international airport in Vegas, and you can kind of go wherever you need to go to.
Yeah, but that does obviously take time. I mean, for example...
Yes. Although, coming from Southern California, if we're going to LAX, a pretty much very comparable amount of commute, actually.
True. But my sister lives in Dallas, so...
She lives, like, right next to the airport. I'm talking about Dallas-Fort Worth. If you're living in Dallas, though, like, that drive to get to DFW Airport, that is a long drive. She happens to live, pretty, like,
she lives
very
about
close.
5 minutes from DFW, which is one of the largest airports in the world.
Oh, yeah, so it works out for her.
But I'm just thinking, personally speaking, because our kids are older than my sisters, we're going to end up having to go to Dallas constantly because traveling with a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old to St. George
as opposed to
us,
a 7 and 5-year-old, yeah.
Well, no, they're going to be 8 and 6 soon. So. But still, yeah. So that's just another, caveat So that's it. That's our video about the reasons that you should avoid living in St. George.
So if you're thinking about either moving to, moving from, or moving within Southern Utah, you got to either give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email.
Or you can reach out to us via WhatsApp. However you want to get a hold of us, we've got your back.